respect ban. You tried to play into it. You did what you could to come up with a lineup that could challenge it. But he still ended up becoming the MVP anyway.
It's pretty disgusting, but we got to talk about EXP laters and Dyren. Very accomplished. I mean, he achievement in MPL IDC's Vorti's dream team, but his history, right? All the way from Rebellion, on then eventually joining RRQ on the 12th season. He continues to grow, and he's had his ups and downs, right? He had to even go to the MDL for a certain degree just to come back to achieve second place with RRQ Hoshi's main lineup.
That's why when we talk about RRQ Hoshi, I feel like in the past few days when the lineups would come up and even in the draft, the conversation would always just float to Dyren, what he can do in the game, what he can do for RRQ Hoshi. So I think that's one thing that RRQ also needs to look at. I mean, he was present in the previous game, but with the RRQ draft in the last one being a little bit more focused in having the double carry set up, now you might want to go back to basics. Put Dyren on a hero that could potentially bully lane and out-presence the other members of Twisted Minds.
Out-presence. I mean, there's a couple of things that we're going to be looking for in this game. In terms of adaptations, Husky's already mentioned Bruno. I want to bring attention to even Chip might be utilized well for either one of these teams, right?
Yeah.
So let's see how this is going to play with RRQ choosing to be on blue side up against the Twisted Minds on red.
I agree. I think the Chip also is now a hero that can definitely be considered. More so on that red side, since you have that last pick potential. When we talk about being control and not kind of having a tempo broken, Chip is sort of the one that always jams that extra screw into your machine. So they do ban on the Chip. I like this start from RRQ, and because they're on blue side, if that Bruno...
Wow, guys, imagine to force a Chip ban from the side of RRQ. W Twisted Minds, guys, massive respect to this side. The fucking forced RRQ to ban Chip.
There is a reason.
I mean, I think there are...
And we are doing a Japanese stream, it looks like.
You only have so many bans, right? If you're willing to give something up, and so focused around the gold
There we go.
Half the time, you don't see the gold lane from like mid to early unless there's a heavy snowball. But here we go, finally.
Yes.
Coach Lyric is like, I got you. I'm getting rid of the Bruno. This is going to be an interesting gold lane matchup now.
Yeah. For the first three, I was thinking, yes, one of these. I'm looking
Hey, Eve, RRQ picking up that Eve.
Link to the Beatrix. So all those heroes I mentioned, I feel like we're going to be seeing in the first phase, unless Twisted Mind suddenly swerves with the third pick and says, you want to pick up a hero now, either the Aurora or the... I think the Valentina.
Should I be?
Prioritize Sicilian over the Valentina, go for it.
I think there's actually a good argument to be made for it, especially when you're up against Eve. Because again, that laning phase can be a little bit difficult. If you're like Valentina, for example, take too many Void Blasts, you're out of lane. Can't really out-push the Eve once she gets her first two items. Can't do much about that. But Cecilia doesn't need to worry about that at all. Outranges the Eve and...
Hey, Joy and high loss. Picking up the high loss, not only it can be flexed in Roam and in EXP, but high loss can also be like a denial pick to be comboed with alongside with that thing, man, Eve.
They go for Gatotsuyo, big power picks to go with the Eve, instant Moskov. This is one of the few...
Guys, if the PC crashes again, I'm done for, okay?
Moskov can play around it.
Yeah. Oh, this is really interesting. Because I'm looking at the lineup coming in from RRQ. It looks kind of similar to what they played in their grand finals against TLID. And then we cut back over to the Twisted Minds, and I think they've got some really good concepts. No Chip. All right, let's keep this fight messy, but there's a possibility for Sano to make it into that backline more reliably.
Yeah, when you see an Eve on one side, the high loss is one of the most go-to counters you can go for if it's not either the Gatot or Khalid. It's a little bit more honest. You're going to be running up into it, but it provides what you need, that extra boost of movement speed so that you can break through formations. And then, of course, Joy, who says, what formations? I'm Joy.
Yeah.
I will somehow find a way into the back line. And, of course, if they're going to be playing around the box, then you have the Moskov to go in with the Spear of Destiny, Spear of Destruction from a different angle. One thing that RRQ Hoshi might want to consider respecting here, and that Twisted Minds might actually surprise with, if they could do it with a Chip, they could also do it with a low Yi.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's the low Yi. If you want to look at roam options, there is a Troll right now. If Troll is comfortable with it, you could take it. If not, then maybe you can just ban it, right? Because you're on that red side. If not, if you want pickoffs, the Kaja is always like sort of that option. You want to get to the Eve, you want to stop this Suyo from dancing around your backlines, that can also work as well. Really comes down to how messy Twisted Minds wants the team fights to be, just like game one.
Yeah. I think it's a little bit more awkward if you're going to play as something that's a little bit more ult reliant. Right now, I mean, with the Joyan as well as the Moskov, they can basically fight on a dime, right?
Yeah.
I think that at this point, looking on based on where the bans are going for, what?
Wow, they banned the claw, huh?
Interesting.
But why? Do they want to play Farsa or something? But then they've already got Gato.
SRG out? No, I don't think they're out yet, right?
Yeah.
SRG have won one match, right? So they are not out yet.
Throwing out there.
It could be because they want
If they lose another one, I think they're out.
that isn't really going to be splitting the lanes,
Now the pressure is really on them. They cannot be losing another match.
looking to win via the team fight. So that's why good ban by RRQ.
Good
They read
stuff.
it. They
They read
got
it,
the
yep.
low E.
I mean, they did it in the previous game, you know, with the first 3 picks, the Even, as well as the Loyu getting banned out on top of the Hilda. But at least now, for the side of RRQ, I think at this point, what are they worried about, right? Are they going to be prioritizing whether or not, you know, Gato going into the EXP4, Dyron is going to be a good option, or are we thinking it's just about priority?
I think right now when you have such huge power picks, you're thinking about how to bolster that. But I think in the back of the mind is also first how to stop the Joy and how to get to the right? Like, these are slippery heroes that can easily not only kind of mess up your battle formations, but
Shit, bro.
moments of chaos can overwhelm you. Especially when
But what the fuck was that pick?
being picked up, you want to split those battle lines. That show is perfect.
Okay, you have your Vision Getter.
What was that skin, guys?
Holder. Is Skylar gonna go pick up one of his iconic picks in Season 14 of MPLID in the Nathan, or is he just gonna follow the trend now and consider either the
Or like
Great
Iratel.
Oh wait, oh yeah,
Iratel,
Iratel's
right? Yeah,
another
yeah,
one
well,
of his
it's
iconic picks. Okay, so are they gonna look for another source of magic? Need another front. It can't just be the Gatot.
Ruby.
Oh, nice micro stun up against the Joy. Oh wait, now they can go Valentina again.
They can go Valentina again. They've got some pretty relevant ults at this point.
They will definitely go Valentina, right?
I'm not sure if it's going to be enough, right? Because it doesn't matter what mid-duel, whether you switch out for Ruby for the Gato Gacha, they are going to have full control over that mid lane in compare. I mean, as long as you have a concussive blast, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
as much as we say that if Coffin gets his hands on the RWM, it sort of defeats the purpose of what RQ wants to do. You have a Gatot backline die, but everyone else wants to run in, and you don't really want to run into an RWM.
Yeah, and if there's a real-world manipulation on the side of Twisted Minds, that's a little bit happier for Joy as well, because RQ's trying to get out of that, but then at the same time, they'll have to try and get away from the Joy.
Hey, it's a better match. It's a better match. Let's go. Cecilion is pretty strong. Let's see, man.
I mean, it's the classic, right? Again, walk me through which draft do you think is going to be taking it away? Is it going to be enough?
I'm leaning a little bit more towards RRQ Hoshi, but we cannot deny that Sicilian needs to be respected.
What about you, Husky?
Same, I like RQ's draft a lot more.
All right, that's the opinion from the panel. Let's throw it over to the casters to get us into game number 2.
What? I'm not sure which draft I would go with here because there's both both have signature picks, and the fact that Twisted Minds just got the Sicilian, they can replicate what they just did in Game 1. And I think part of this too is just the determination that they showed in Game 1 already. If they carry it here, again, they're at match point in this best of 3. Can RRQ bring this composition to the table to get them to a Game 3? Because, of course, both teams want to move forward to the knockout.
The land of Dawn remains a silent witness to history lived and rewritten. But will it bear witness to history twisted for the first ever MENA team making it to an M Series top 8? Only time shall tell in Game 2 between RQ Hoshi and Twisted Minds.
And as we get a look at the junglers here, this is going to be a crucial thing. We've seen so much of the Suyo pop off and a lot of early game potential, but same thing can be said now often with the Joy. She's been it's just been a pick that's popped up a lot. It's quite durable, it's quite mobile, and against this kind of lineup, that's exactly what you need, and maybe that's also why there's a little bit of that catch, you know, that comes through with a Ruby. The mobility itself can be matched with Skylar now on this Irithyll. A lot of early aggression already.
Troll gonna do some poking, but actually ends up overcommitting himself. Has to use Flicker already at the first minute of the game.
As I was saying, you know, Sanafa, that's part of the plan with the Ruby. A pick we haven't seen too often throughout the Swiss stage alone. But it's there to be able to catch, you know, any of these heroes out, really, that Twisted Minds have brought to the table. And it could actually end up being in a situation where, yeah, maybe Troll overextends a little bit, tries to get that set up or that kick that he's looking for, but then there's a Ruby across from you. And even for Hoda to try to bounce
I
in
see.
between, like we've seen so
That's how
much
it works,
Troy
huh?
just escape situations, you know, with
Nice,
very
nice,
little health
nice.
left, but now that you have the catch here available, that should help them out. Little trying to delay this a little bit more from Hoda, but Hoda's going to be fine. Now go into it when we lead ourselves in that first objective, that first turtle, so to speak. Which team has the advantage here when it comes to their lineups?
I would say that RRQ Hoshi
And I seriously need to go and take a she, man.
towards their comfort, right? Which is that early to mid game. They've got a lot more resources, a lot more access to early game damage, and having a Ruby to stop Hoda on this Joy as well means that they can take fights very, very easily. We can see that Twisted Minds isn't even going to try and contest the first turtle.
Yeah, they really got to wait for that level 4, I feel like, for Troll, you know, to be able to pick people off if they can. He doesn't have it just yet, but
Hoda coming in, electrifying beats used, not gonna overcommit on Edok though. That is gonna be Hoda's ultimate enemy. Twisted Minds needs to respect their opponent's positioning this game.
this might be one of those games too where Twisted Minds just waits for the late game, like trying to drag things out the best you can. If you do get a pick off with utilizing Troll here on the Cho, then great, but if not, then play for the late game and build up into the fact that you have the Sicilian this time around, and even the Moskov for Sano. Because the pacing really from RRQ, just like they did in the previous game, they're the ones that started things up. They got things going, and I expect them to do the same here in the mid.
Tough in a lot of trouble. Flicker hook from the Ruby, and Rins.
It's time to drink water.
That's what I was talking about. You know, you set things up with the real world manipulation, helps slow things down a little bit, but then you throw in a Ruby, able to catch things out. A couple shots here. Trolls trying to help out here for this, but
Oh, the flicker jump going to miss actually. The CC from Edok messing with Troll's rotation. That's not going to be a catch on Skylar they were looking for.
I feel like this is enough of a wrench thrown into the cogwheel, that Ruby pick. Oh, mid!
Cuffin literally getting smushed into face
Hoda.
by the AOG. Electrifying beats, but it's not going to save Hoda as the I'm Offended pulls him in and gives Sutsujin his first kill of the game.
The stock value on the Ruby definitely going up here. You know, at this point, this is a very big lead already early on. Purple buff.
Sano can actually take the Spear of Destruction. Purple buff still stolen away by Sutsujin. Unfortunately, his presence not going to matter too much. Moskov doesn't have enough damage, but the Glorious Pathway is committed anyway. Sanguine Claws pulling Dyren back. They're looking for a kill. Any kill they can get, and they'll find it. Sano gonna finish off Dyren, and now Troll jumping forward gets CC'd, but there's so much damage actually from Twisted Minds. Cuffin having his first kill. Real World Manipulation comes out. Blade Surge actually stuns Cuffin, and he's still stuck in the death box. He's gonna be finished off by Sutsujin, so RRQ will trade a little bit back.
A good showing that they still want to fight, even though they lost the purple buff. They'll go for it. They're trying to make a play up top.
Skylar in a lot of trouble. Hoda's just gonna chase him down with Sano, but Skylar! So much Sano! Almost picked off, but not quite enough. At the very least, Sutsujin is able to grab the turtle on the other side of the map.
Trading blow for blow, whether it's for kills, whether it's for objectives, both teams finding something in these exchanges, but still it's RRQ Hoshi that holds on to the lead. 2,000 gold up, some big items being picked up, those first items locked in. And so we see these fights break out, and we see Twisted Minds really trying to fight it out, but ultimately they're just getting a little bit overpowered, you know, in terms of strength. They're gonna need some time to build up on what they need, but they do find something. They still hold into the game, and they did the same thing in the previous one. As long as they keep it from getting into, you know, crazy lead territory like we've seen in the past, through the past couple of days where you're talking about 6,000 to 8,000 gold leads, then they should be relatively fine in securing the late game.
Way of the Dragon finds Rins into the AOG. Not gonna land, unfortunately. Rins able to pop up that real world manipulation, and now Twisted Minds completely caught out. Troll is gone. Mike Sama falls. Double kill for RRQ. Both given over to Skylar.
Such a good job from Edok there. Just literally all he did was plant himself in between where Cuffin was from that fight, because Mike Samat jumped in with the Avatar of the Guardian, and then Cuffin really didn't have a way to actually enter that fight and use those bat impacts the way he was looking to. So right now, RRQ Hoshi, you know, they looks like they've solved this issue that they had previously, or even what they saw in the previous game when the Sicilian was picked up by Twisted Minds. And both junglers just kind of battling it out. No one else here really to help him out. Well, 1v1 though.
That's actually a bit of a mistake in rotation from Hoda, and Sutsujin will punish it. Killing spree for the Suyo on RRQ. They're gonna look and continue chasing, zoning Troll backwards. This next turtle should easily be in their control.
I know you're elusive on the Joy, but that's not a fight you want to take. You don't want to take the 1v1 versus a Suyo, especially when those retributions are available. And now this turtle's up. And this is just going to be a 3 for 3 for RRQ. Troll goes in, jumps in again.
Ooh, we have the Dragon canceling here. RWM comes out, RUG as well. Sutsujin, this whole time, he's just taking the turtle, and even despite his absence, RRQ Hoshi are taking control of the entire team fight. Troll just gonna be funneled in here, trying to run away, but he also knows that he's licked. They're gonna try and surround Sutsujin to get some payback, and they will find the shutdown for Coffin.
Good pickup on a kill on for Cuffin here. But still, you're seeing it. You know, these team fights are not going the way of Twisted Minds at all. And it's a little bit more difficult this time around because they're just going for the front. You know, they don't have this chip this time to throw things off and come in from a different angle. Or like, for example, when we see the Luiyis with the diversions, this time around, they kind of just rely on Troll to go in with the way of the dragon, the kick, but then you're so exposed because of the fact that you're playing into real-world manipulation from Rins that it's really difficult to actually get the angles you're looking for. And this is just now turrets getting knocked down, worked on here from RRQ, building up on the lead that they have. And Twisted Minds, how do they get back into this game? You know, how do they actually get some control in their favor? Even though they found a couple kills here and there, that's great for them, but it puts them in a bad position for the First Lord. They're gonna have a hard time here. Kicks coming out from Troll.
Yep, Hoda trying to follow up on Sutsujin. Electrifying is gonna come out. RWM not gonna be able to stop Hoda, but they're gonna be able to find the taunt with Dyron, and that is a lot of damage. But Hoda able to dash away. Even the glorious pathway used to support their escape. Meanwhile, there's a 1v1 between Skylar and Sano in the bottom jungle. Sano has to run off. You can see the Hero Tail starting to hit that power spike. Spear of Destruction going to miss on Edok as well. So RQ wanting to look for trades wherever they can.
Still gotta respect the fact that Twisted Minds is willing to take these fights, even down what they are in terms of economy. They're still trying to make it happen, trying to make it in a position where, yeah, they're not at a huge disadvantage for that First Lord. And given that, you know, they actually might be able to contest this. They might be able to go ahead and go toe-to-toe with RRQ Hoshi, as they've gotten themselves in a position where, even for Cuffin, you know, I'm wondering how many stacks he has. I know it's still early in the game, but also a Malefic Gun being picked up here by Skylar. Some more defensiveness for Dyron. And Troll, he's going to have a hard time making this work. It's been difficult for him so far. He's going to get pulled this time.
Literally the moment you said it, Troll faces even more difficulty, not even able to escape from that brush because of all the crowd control from RQ. Glorious Pathway comes out, Hoda looking for Skylar, not able to connect as Edok flickers forward and stuns him. Hoda has to run away, and that means Mike Sama going to be abandoned in the backline cup and trying to support with artillery fire, but it's not going to be enough as Skylar grabs a killing spree.
This is just going to be a trade now. Lord being taken here, that tier 1. Sano takes that down on the bottom side. They'll still try to hold on to the mid turret. Looks like they do, but Edok popping the conceal. That Spirit of Destruction won't land either. So this is just cross map after cross map happening for both teams.
Oh, man! Ah!
They're gonna have to get together, restructure this at this
Alright.
Twisted Minds, they pull.
That was refreshing, not gonna lie. It is always satisfying and refreshing to get Kingo out of your body, right? I mean, hold on, guys, pause. Not, oh my god, not, I mean,
but as the Lord comes in and they
whatever.
turrets,
Shit. Hey, Hoda in trouble. Oh, hey, what is Hoda's build, guys? I couldn't check.
The Lord is still gonna be pushing down bottom lane. RQ gonna be able to do a lot of tower damage.
Champ in the bathroom. Champ coaching players in the bathroom.
Mike Sama to slow down the push. Edok actually stuck inside, but RWM actually catches out Mike Sama instead. Mega kill for
Inferno, shot. Nigga.
shields are popping. Lord still has to be dealt with.
What a noob.
As Twisted Minds finds himself
Okay.
on the defense without Mike Sama for a little bit.
RRQ winning till now, that's not a surprise though.
Right now, still going to be worked on. Edok
I was watching, right? I had my other phone with me watching. Oh. Bruh, Troll is getting fucking melted. This might be it, right? Yeah, this is GG's, guys. GG's 1-1.
It's time to drink water.
Alright, here you go, you freaking black monkey.
back. They'll take game number 2 and bring us.
I drank a lot of fucking cold water. Oh my god.
What we expected here, they didn't waste any time. Again, 11
I need to heat my water up. The water is cold. Ooh.
Like, that is not happening here.
Shit.
Not even giving a chance for those stacks to build up. Great adjustments.
Of course, RRQ is winning till now. Also, Inferno. You can call me a monkey. You can call me a donkey. You can call me a fucking whatever. You can call me black. You can call me a slave. Do not call me Kingu, please. Do not ever call me Kingu. No. Cannot take that kind of that kind of an insult, man. Never.
But the fact that you have the Ruby there really helped them out. So let's go ahead. And
Being Kingu might be one of the lowest one can ever reach, man.
Thank you, nice.
That's it, bro.
Man,
That's it, Inferno. I'm blocking you. Goodbye. Goodbye, Inferno. Get out.
a lot sharper, but we did see the
Get out.
mistakes get heavily punished as Twisted Minds. Unfortunately,
How can I block him from here? No, I can't.
was enough to send them spiraling.
Oh
I
my
think,
god.
You know, RRQ still kept the same playstyle that we've seen, still loves to brawl, still does it cleanly. But like you said, right, it really came down to Twisted Minds. They went into this game.
How can I block him? How can I block him? How can I block him?
I would say arguably
Oh my god, I cannot manage it from here.
As if the draft from RRQ is from game
No
number 1.
way.
Expecting the Ruby, they were really trying to force a lot of fights. You know, like Hoda was
I have to open my browser to block him. Oh my god.
a lot of minor mistakes that RRQ punished.
Yeah, there was a time where the Ruby
So bad,
were in
man.
combo and they were killer with
My god, bro.
overextend, don't respect the roam in the
My
mid lane,
freaking nose is blowing. Ugh.
down, and it was just like that. Rinse.
Oh, brother.
They played around the box of the E.
Oh,
really
brother.
well, and the moment that Rin saw that, hey, I'm gonna pop my real world manipulation, I'll use it now, build an advantage. They did that.
Some people are still like pushing towards mythical immortal.
Talking about this while the game was going on, it had a lot of overlaps, a lot of potential answers. Cho could barely move. Even Hoda had to be very careful with the way that they positioned.
That was an
Even so, unfortunately for the high loss stack,
that game was kind of an anticlimactic game, not gonna lie.
You don't really have a way to keep the Ruby kind of at bay, right? You don't have.
Let's see if we can see a better game number 3.
Hey, you can't walk out like this. You can't just walk up and pull my teammate.
They were pressuring the Sicilian too much, right? Right, yeah, 2-4. They pressured the Sicilian totally out of the game.
A bit about a potential Valentina that can not just be there with the Terrify, but the utility that you can steal from RRQ to benefit your teammates if RRQ plays fast. Twisted Minds don't really have that. It ended up being a more one-dimensional. Let's get to the late game comp, get Hoda and Sano online, and they never made it there.
Yeah, you can see the Twisted Minds at least kept the joy with them to have an aggressive option. But then the fact that they picked up a Moskov and then a Sicilian just goes to show that Twisted Minds showed to RRQ that we're playing for the mid to the late game. We are going to try to out-macro you. We're going to space out the maps. Similar to what you mentioned is they went into game number 2 with the idea of playing it as if they played game number 1. That's why RRQ read that Aloy could be a great option for Twisted Minds, took it out. So they forced Twisted Minds in this funnel of either picking between the Valentina and the Sicilian, which, yes, the Sicilian has great reach, but of course, it needs time. And the Ruby and the Eve do very well, paired up with a Suyo, to take time away from their opponents.
Wouldn't that mean that at the very least Twisted Mind should have been playing on the opposite side of the map? You know that, like, at least for Joy, 2 items is kind of where you're looking for, unless you get a super early first item. I mean, Cuffin obviously is going to need 3 and the stacks on top of that. And even for Sano, you're basically not a marksman until you get the Trinity finally complete.
That Sicilian wasn't Kingo? No, I don't agree, man. Sicilian wasn't, it wasn't a Kingo,
I
bro.
get that they were playing for macro, but now I think this is a reminder again, even though we've seen Moskov win twice now in very iconic performances, I am still a Moskov hater for a reason. And we got to see it here. And RRQ picked up a great Irithel that isn't the Trinity marksman. She builds a very different path that scales.
Ruby Rome is good, it cannot be bad. It is pretty good against Joy and yeah, Ruby Rome is pretty good against Joy and Cho, man.
In and go in hard.
Anytime the fucking Joy wanna come in, Ruby can do so much annoying CC and Joy's second skill is gonna get cancelled, right?
Sano has very little space.
And Ruby can literally hold down Cho's. Whenever, like, imagine Cho is preparing his Jeet Kundo towards you and you are playing Ruby. You will just press your second skill right before when Cho is about to be hitting you. You will still cast your skill, even though you are gonna be getting hit with a knockup as well, I'm thinking, right? I think, yeah, you are still gonna get hit with the knockup. And then the Cho is also gonna get stunned. And now the Cho cannot kick you towards their own side.
I mean, his GPM isn't going to be the highest because, again, his pivotal moment...
So Ruby is good against Cho.
enough to do enough damage, and plus, we're winning pretty much every one of these neutral objectives and team fights.
Yeah, exactly. And
then the Cho is gonna get hooked by Ruby, right?
the statement we're in the juice and pickup.
So played.
Really goes
I mean, if you have the vision and you can it's not that easy. It's not that hard though. It is pretty easy to play the Cho. The Ruby versus Cho.
the same thing. It's a little bit more honest. It's a little bit more vulnerable, but it goes to show why she rose up in priority and why teams would want to chase her as the first pick.
Let's quickly look into these highlights, right? Because again, a lot of these moments, it's can you punish the mid laner and then start opening the map from that point onwards. And after that third death coming in from Galkim, these are his only first two. You can see that even Twisted Minds were trying to adapt to it, right? Potential counter engagements. They're just not expecting RRQ to have that many reinforcements.
Yeah, not just reinforcements, but also how fast those reinforcements arrive. I think Twisted Minds failed to realize that throughout the game, how fast RRQ Hoshi actually moves throughout the map. You have this board created by Rins, but you also have people like Suyo, Gatot Kacha, even the Ruby to a certain extent that has movement abilities that can allow them to get close to you when you least expect it. And from that point onwards, it was just a snowball, right? Like RRQ Hoshi are willing to press ultis just to pick off single targets.
Well, I mean, considering how this game has been looking like, what are some of the adaptations that Twisted
Can the Twisted Mind come back and take a 2-1, guys? What do you guys think?
Both sides, again, take away, that cornerstone, the whole structure starts to crumble.
Yeah, I'm trying to think up of better picks. I feel like, especially that game number 2, as we've been mentioning already, it was more of, not disrespect, but again, maybe they were a little bit too happy after what happened in game number 1. A little bit too excited. And, oh, yo, it's RRQ Hoshi. Come on, let's go. We can take them. Oh, what's this Ruby? Where's this? Oh, what's this Eve? Suddenly, I think I gotta agree with Husky here and said, like...
I will not mind if RRQ loses. I'm not a fan of RRQ. Sorry, Pauls.
Up there in terms of excitement.
I'm not a fan of RRQ like that, so...
Number 3, RRQ Hoshi...
I need pass XP!
Against Twisted Minds.
I don't even care, man. I also voted for RRQ, but it will be good to see Twisted Minds win.
Something that crowd controls a little bit better.
Lol, bro.
Stops invades a little bit better. And funnily enough, they did that, but they were just countered by a really great Ruby Eve pick.
I mean, it sounds great, but at the same time, there is respect given to both sides. Like, even Kesku was talking about, the masterminds coming in from Twisted Minds itself. And, I mean, let's look at the quote here. I think this will explain a lot because we got a quote specifically, if I'm looking here correctly, it is from Day a Lot here. In his quote, it's talking about being rivals with Coach Lyric back in MENA. And when Twisted Minds eliminated them, after that, he decided to join MPLPH. And here's the scary part. We've seen a lot of these Filipino analysts, coaches, whenever they come back, whenever they drop down and they feel like, oh, I'm about to retire, a team picks them up and suddenly something changed. Arcadia had the similar story.
Yeah.
So many, I can go down the list if you want to, but I think this says a lot about the motivations coming in from the back end of the Twisted Minds.
Not just that, but also kind of the value that they bring, right? Like there's a reason that even at your lowest moment, people still see you as something greater than you do, and that's how Arcadia sort of ended up winning 2 MPL titles and an MSC title with the same team throughout a two-season journey. But I think in this case, for Twisted Minds going into Game 3, look back at Cuffin once more. He's the playmaker. You want to enable him as much as possible. Maybe Sicilian isn't the way anymore unless push comes to shove. And I think on top of that, it's just start thinking about how a best of 3 plays out, right? If this was a best of 1, I think that celebration was warranted. But best of 3 demands deep pockets. And RRQ has shown some of that.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to tweak your last name right there. Sicilian could still be the answer, just hug the tower a little bit more, maybe in the laning phase. Don't be overstepping against an even Ruby too much.
Okay, wait. I mean, we saw Joy in the previous matchup. We're talking about adaptations. Potentially, we need to have a discussion about Joy. Now, question is Joy, yes, no, maybe, is Joy overrated? I felt like when we saw Hoda play in these games, it's, to me, I'm undecided on it. I feel like there's a certain tipping point where Joy suddenly becomes yes, but a large majority of it, especially the early, and especially when you see Suchij play with the rest of his team, as an individual, it's hard.
I think the word we're probably looking for is situational, right? Like, I'm not saying that, oh, Joy is too popular and, you know, and ended up having a horrendous win rate.
Yeah, Joy definitely feels like that, guys.
Right? You are enabled to head into the back line.
Whenever I fucking play the Joy, man, it's a sad story for my side.
Joy lost.
My side be like feeling like, I mean, of course, because no, feeling like.
So I think teams, if you want to pick up Joy, by all means go ahead, but you need the right support system.
I know, completely agree with Husky here. The best Joy games we've seen comes from the fact that the Joy is supplemented well. It has people getting vision for it. The Roman mid aren't losing that terribly, and it is given space to shine. So it's not overrated.
Oh, we got games tomorrow as well, huh?
A good amount of market.
Damn, and we got BTK in that finale. And guys, tomorrow's kickoff game, it's pretty big as well, man. Two of the big teams are playing against each other. Aurora 2-0. I mean, sorry, Aurora 0-2. Wolfender 0-2. So we are gonna be bidding farewell to one of this much loved side, which is Aurora or Wolfender.
So those are the classic ones.
Yeah, but then I'm gonna throw back what you mentioned yesterday. This meta's all about those chunks of damage, and Joy brings out that chunks of magic damage that isn't easily countered up until maybe the 7th or 8th minute mark, maybe even closer to 11 or 12 when the frontliners have magic defense items.
Honestly, especially with the Joy in the late game, the ref is just telling you, protect yourself,
Yeah,
keep your hands up. I can't do anything. I got all the MR, but it doesn't matter as we head on into the draft for our very final game. Only one of these teams are going
I need pass XP. Oh my god, bro.
the knockout stage in advance, while the other will have to play another best of 3.
So it's going to be Yves and Loyi banned. We kind of go back to basics a little bit, right? Twisted Minds wants to have RRQ play in a vacuum, and I also respect the fact that RRQ banned out the Bruno. Jusin is open, but there have been ways to deal with her. Bruno being one of it, that has been taken out. We've seen dive comp like Moskov, Ling Angela. Those are decent as well, as long as the Jusin cannot just kind of statically put the lantern on you. See if Twisted Mind decides to go for that, or alternatively, they could start looking at the more flexible picks.
I mean, if we're talking about flexible picks, I mean,
It is 5:01. So no matter what, guys, we are gonna be free before 6. Which means your boy finally gets to make some fucking content today. Let's go, man. Let's go.
Now, what is RRQ's response?
Okay, with the Jushin...
Guys, it is gonna be amazing, man. I'm gonna be able to freaking stream TCG. Yo, guys. Anybody wanna freaking support? Go and follow that Champy channel, man. I'm gonna be freaking streaming TCG after this. Not like streaming right after this thing, but I'll be like after this game is over, I'll be trying to cut some clips. Then I'll go and record some videos for TCG, and I'm gonna be doing that thing over live with my face cam on. Okay, guys.
Okay, so it was the Shosuyo that I mentioned earlier. So
I have already discussed my frustration when it comes to ML and making content. Why or how I do not enjoy making content for ML, or how it is like not possible to create content for ML, right? But when it comes to TCG, guys, there is nothing that is holding me back. There are no 4 randoms in my team always holding me back, guys.
Might be looking at your gold laner now, so you can start shutting down what Skylar has for options. So
And I can also go and use some troll decks in Pokemon TCG Pocket, because if I'm losing, the only person that I'm hurting there, it is myself. I don't wanna do freaking inspired Nana, inspired Mincitar, those kind of stupid things, right?
yeah, I think you pick one.
Because whenever I'm doing that thing in ML, guys, I am hurting 4 other people. And if I troll, if I quote unquote use a troll deck in TCG, the only person I'm hurting it is myself. So
Now you just need to get rid of the bad 1-1 match.
oh, 1-1.
Is set for
Skylar with 1-1.
Unless, it kind of depends where Twisted Minds wants to go, right? Because at this point, if we're thinking about bad matchups from the gold lane, all right, that's not what Twisted Minds is concerned about. They're more concerned about, hey, we've already shown our flex pick at this point. There's got to be a jungle pick that needs to open up and, you know, find these opportunities, and it may not necessarily be an assassin. I'm hoping that Alpha might be, you know, taken into consideration here. That might be something that RRQ might bans out. No.
Okay.
If they're going for Nolan,
Yeah.
I'm expecting the Alpha to follow suit, right?
I really appreciate this Nolan ban here by RRQ, because when you mentioned the alpha, I agree with you, but then I realized, oh, there's still a 1-1 on the other side. That's a little bit happier for the 1-1 now, because you have the alpha, the Gatot, and the Hylos now to potentially mark down and hit with the crossbow of Tang. So they took away what they needed, which was the best burst physical marksman that's, assassin that's hard to catch by taking out the Nolan.
Yeah, and it also eliminates the potential of something like a Fredrin, right? If Twisted Minds ever considers that, because you don't want another beach, you don't want another like crossbow Tang setup for the 1-1.
It's a free setup, but at the same time, this composition may be thick, but it needs something that scales, right? That's where we're where all of our heads are.
Hey, a Granger getting banned at that final spot from the side of RRQ.
Again, right? You not only eliminate him from the gold lane, but also the jungle. Unless we see something like a, I feel like we probably just devolve back to Hayabusa, or if we go down even further.
Haya, yeah, nobody's giving a freaking flying fuck about Haya. I think people are realizing that Haya isn't really that good.
Maybe.
Yeah, people are definitely realizing that Haya is no longer a threat after that freaking 15% nerf, which is more than 25% nerf
You're probably gonna have to look for
directly, right?
have to actually punish our opponents, take away that front line maybe. That's why I'm leaning a little bit more into the alpha, but I think that RRQ, now that they banned out the Granger on top of everything else, it's, I mean, where are we gonna go with this?
Twisted Minds might consider wanting to ban the Phobius here.
If there's any day for Phobius ban. So they banned the Valentina.
Oh,
I can
wow.
respect that, right? Like you have good ultimates for Valentina to steal. Like Glorious Pathway, AOG, Crimson Beacon.
Yeah, that's true. At the same time, some Valentinas aren't afraid to duel up against and get close to a Juiced in the laning phase, and those Valentinas often win.
Yeah.
I mean, you still have the Vexana available for him, and I mean, one of the classic answers to the Hylos and the Gatot Gacha.
Hey, Glooge from the side of RRQ coming in.
Kills two birds with one stone. Hylos got one.
Glooge, man.
Who is gonna kill the glue?
We already seen Arhan on that Glooge yesterday. He literally snowballed the game out of enemy's hands by himself.
The presence of the glue.
And another Joy. 1 second, it's Joy.
This time they do have.
And oh, it's Moskov and Joy.
It's not like the previous game where you're getting stopped. There's no room for Ruby right now for RRQ. That mid lane though, the Vex now feels better.
Yeah.
Vex is great now.
I think you kind of don't have a choice at this point, right?
Yeah.
Your Aurora was probably going to be like the best way to handle it. Even the Valentinas, they all deal with these, you know, melee heroes very, very well at mid range. Now it's going to be like high execution. If you miss your fear, you're basically as good as dead.
Yeah.
I wonder if Twisted Minds also picked up the Joy, thinking that maybe RRQ are thinking of just picking something weird like a Faramis because of the aggressive team fight that you could chase after that. So
Hey, it's a Kadita.
One way to deal with it.
whoa.
That's one person that the Joy does not want to get on top of.
What is more Indonesian than a Kadita pick in mid?
Yeah.
Interesting. This is going to be an interesting matchup here. Some decent bursts, and also, I mean, we might see Cadito go up in win rate this time round. We're going to throw it over to our casters to handle this very final game.
It's all coming down to just this one game for either of these teams, Twisted Minds or RRQ Hoshi, to make it to the next stage of the M6 Championship here. It's the knockout stage, that top 8 spot that they're looking for, and really it's in either team's grasp at this point, based on everything we've seen up to this point in the series alone, in this best of 3. Either team can grab this, but
Shit, guys, man.
adjustment from that very quick game victory from RRQ Hoshi in the last one. Can they replicate what they did in game 1 with this lineup? We'll find out, because it's about to happen.
On one side, a kingdom representing the pride of a nation, and on the other, a squad representing the hopes of a region one step away from reaching top 8 for the first time. Only one may remain undefeated into the M6 knockouts. Will it be Twisted Minds or RRQ Hoshi?
Right now, Rin's taking some damage. He's going to be fine. Also, the Kadita, the fact that this comes out at this point in the tournament is great. You know, we've seen previews of this before, but what a fitting way to go ahead and grab a victory if it is RRQ Hoshi. And now Twisted Minds, on the other hand, like what they mentioned, you know, with this, whoa, actually already very aggressive from Rins. Troll goes in with the Unbreakable.
A good knock-up, 3-man Jeet Kune Do. Sutsujin not able to follow up though, and now Mike-sama even coming to join the party.
Wow.
And no casualties so far.
No casualties, 2 flickers used though from RQ Hoshi.
Who the fuck? What the hell?
Here, he's going to be fine as the mid lane still fighting for control.
Yep,
Who is that nig? Who the fuck is that nig nigging me?
Cuffin pulling Edok back one more time, but not quite enough damage to finish him off.
Threading the needle.
Who the fuck is that nig, bro?
Surprised he was.
SMK. What the hell, nig? Why are you nigging me?
Set the pace, and I think that's the thing too. You know, this Moskov joy.
Are you even watching or are you feeding like a dog?
For Twisted Minds than in the previous one, just because of the fact that they have, you know, their bases covered when it comes to the initiation, when it comes to the front line. They're running a double revitalize composition too, so they're really trying to extend some of those fights and withstand a lot of that damage that will be kind of bursty early on from RQ Hoshi, especially.
Gato and Hylos was picked definitely before 1-1, right? Yeah.
Sustainability and utility that they can work with this time for game number 3 on RRQ Hoshi. Playing into
I think so. I wasn't paying attention. I was looking at something else. I was looking at what? Hero skill?
1-1 on the turtle pit, Sutsujin on top. We're gonna see it.
Oh my god. Gato. Oh, bhai. Look at the tankiness from Gato.
Still going in.
What?
Still surviving. Sutsujin
Yeah, game started, Joy.
traded away. Troll still alive
Oh.
after everything.
Bro, Gato didn't fall.
One more time.
Time to fucking spam Gato in rank, guys. Fuck this shit.
Gets the knockout. Sutsujin lands.
No, Gato got a nerf, man. He used to be even stronger before the nerf. I mean, of course, last patch.
Twisted Minds get all that, and then of course not getting.
I mean, even this snap picked up a Gato MVP, I saw.
But yeah, you saw it. You know how surprising it is when you have 2 revitalizers to be able to go ahead and withstand a lot of that
Lol,
damage
bro.
and extend those fights. But also the goal lane, the fact that Skylar gets out
That Layla was cosplaying you, man.
ahead here,
Yep.
picking up that
That was
corrosive
Kingo,
scythe
man.
already.
Hello?
Also a level
Even Sovik is giving Dochon to Kingo. Imagine. Imagine.
to allow himself to get back.
Imagine being a Kingo. That is the lowest one can achieve in their life, I'm thinking, man.
And having the notion of, okay, I have momentum in my favor. It's going to be really
Damn, bro.
difficult for Sano
It's
to
Kingo.
try to go ahead and go
Kingo.
face to face against a 1-1. And that's not even considering the fact that later on, you know, Skylar, we've seen this earlier in the tournament. When
Bhai, Gato, what the fuck?
airtime he needs,
I need to find an actual good tank player, man.
And I guess that's, again, why you have this double revitalized composition. You want to be able to withstand it. And then the winter crowns will come into play later. But still, as Twisted Minds tries to keep things from, you know,
Blast.
getting too out of control, they open against just a 1,000 deficit at this point.
Steel bones.
What RQ Hoshi is going to be identifying right now is that Skylar has already gotten a much bigger lead in the gold lane than you would. This is already a composition that's very well designed.
Fucker. Sovik with Atlas. Not that Atlas is kinda goofy. Oh, cause Skylar is gone, right? One more hit from Troll, yes, Skylar falls.
Keeping his distance. The rest of
When you constantly play the game at a pretty top level, Moondog, fucking dog shit, garbage, developers, they keep on giving me Kingus in my team. Every fucking time. Thinking that, okay, this player is good, he will carry those stupid Kingus. But man, nobody can carry Kingus, man. It's impossible.
kicked away by Edok.
Kingus are too bad. The better you play, the more you are gonna get punished.